you have a habit. I know you can't see me,
Hmm.
but you have a habit, or you have this wonderful skill, this like amazing
I'm scared.
thing where your characters are not, when you book them seemingly on paper, are not too necessarily meant to be around as long as they are. And then I feel like you have this wonderful staying power. What
Do you know
is
what?
that?
I like to say it's like a really bad fart that it just won't quite leave the room. So I always cut to the cranberries and say about myself, "Do you have to let it linger? Like you can't get rid of Mater. Once she's in, she's in. Like that bitch, she's still a recurring. Like fuck, should we just make her a regular at this point? Why is she still here? It's literally just for like the free cheese at craft service. I just love being on set. You can't get rid of me." I'm like, so this is a guest star. So when do I sign for the series regular role? And they're like, go away. We like they tried to kill me like 100 times on Once Upon a Time. I'm like, I'm back.
How many
Nice
shows I mean,
try.
honestly, how many times has that happened?
I don't know how many times I died and came
Multiple.
back to life. Yeah. Even on Lost, they killed me off and then they ended up bringing me back. I was really hurt that they killed me off because they were supposed to like upgrade me to series regular at one point and then didn't. And then upgraded the 3 other characters that I had arrived with except for me. And then tried to like put me in a smaller trailer, and it all just got really sad really quick. Like, we don't know what to do with your character, and the writer's strike, the previous writer's strike in
Yeah.
2008, like we never gave you your backstory, and now we just don't even really know what to do with you, so we're just going to slowly write you out. And then they
Oh,
basically gave me
Jesus.
loads of nosebleeds and a love story with Faraday. I'm like, that's why I came here, to have like a physics boyfriend and a nosebleed. I was really hurt. So anyway, I decided, I'm like, you know what, the universe is, this is all just lessons. I'm meant to do something else. And I tried to just turn the end of the experience into something beautiful. So I flew my
Mm.
mum and dad out from England and I said, listen, if you want to do a set visit, now's the time to do it because I ain't gonna make it, girl.
Yeah.
So
You're
they
like,
all
she
came,
said, one too
they,
many nosebleeds, folks.
yeah, they came out. And then I decided to just like crush the death episode. And it's like, I'm really proud of the work that I did when I died. But then loads of time goes by. And I was doing a couple of independent movies, one with Antonio Banderas in
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
in New Mexico, and then another movie with Uma Thurman, and I was doing them like almost back to back. And I was in bed in New York in like an Airbnb, and my phone rang. They're like, "Hey, Rebecca, I've got Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof for you." I'm like, "What?" Like, it's a
Sure.
long time later. And
Yeah.
I'm like in bed. I'm like, "All right, guys." They're like, "Hey, Mater, congratulations on your 2 movies. Do you want to come back and do one more episode?" And I just said, "What, for more nosebleeds?" And they went, they said, "No, no, no. You get to make out with Sawyer." And I'm like, "When do I leave?" They're like, "Well, we're going to do like a day in between your 2 movies." So I quickly flew there, made out with Josh Holloway. They like flew back. I was like,
He was
eh.
he was dreamy. I remember because the manager that I let go of represented Josh for a while.
Ah, how funny.
So I remember having a dinner with him and being like, oh my God, he is attractive.
He
So
is. And
interesting.
so is his wife and kids. He's got a
Yes,
beautiful wife, and they're all just like, they all just look
I
like a
know.
Ralph Lauren campaign. They're
They
all
do.
just stunning.
They do. He's still is he married to Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Hmm.
at the dinner. They're, I mean,
Oh,
just
yeah.
wonderful,
I
wonderful
love her.
people. Yeah, 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 yeah. Did you work with Terry O'Quinn?
Oh, yeah. Ugh. 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 I love that man.
Talk about dreamy.
Oh God, there was a moment. It was actually my first day at work on Lost, and I had just watched 3.5 seasons on DVD because that's how long ago this was. DVD that I bought from Barnes and Noble, okay, pre-streaming, to prepare for this role, right? So I'd gone from like, I think I watched until the end of season 3, and then obviously like season 4 hadn't come out yet, and I was coming in halfway through season 4. So at the end of season 3, like the whole island is just like wow, wow, wow,
Yeah.
it's this big light, and then boom, and then about 3 minutes later, Transpo picked me up to take me to the jungle. So I went from like being in the show and watching 10 a day to then being in the jungle with the exact same people. I was like, what is happening? What
Oh
is
my God,
my
that must have been
life?
so weird.
And then Benjamin Linus shot me in the chest. And then Terry O'Quinn had his knees like around my waist, pinning me to the floor while I'm ripping off my bulletproof vest. And all I could see was locks, beautiful bald head, ice blue eyes, a circle of sky, and then jungle trees. And I'm like, I'm in the computer. It was like I just climbed inside a laptop and like all the eye close-ups that you would get on Lost, but I was in it. And he was looking into my, I was like, have I passed away? Am I all right? I mean, it was bonkers. One of the best moments
Jesus,
of the entire life. It was magical.
I did a Hallmark Christmas movie with him where he played my father.
Oh.
And he was like the most wonderful person. He brought his guitar with him to set.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he would just like sing, and he was so calm, and he just had this energy
chill.
that was like super chill. And it made everything so chill in a movie where you shoot an entire movie in like 12 days.
Yeah, that's
like,
his energy. His energy is just so like that. And then like Josh would have a guitar and Terry would have a guitar, and then we'd all be singing and maybe accidentally having a sip of something we or maybe shouldn't have. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning and all the stars are out. You're in paradise.
Whoa.
Paradise. And then like a PA, and we're singing together. The PA was like, hey guys, I'm ready for you on set. And we're like, but we're not ready for set. Hold on, just one more chorus and then we'll be done, I promise.
What was it like working in Hawaii?
You would think glorious, right? Because it's paradise. I mean, it's stunning. But, you know, I think if I had been with my husband and kids, it would have been way better. But at the time, I was in my 20s and single. Not that I was like wanting to hit the club, but, you know, a lot of the people on the show, like that lived there, that had gotten places there, were all married with kids. So, you know, on the weekends, I was like, really kind of struggled to make plans with people. So I was a little bit bored. Also, 90% of the activities in Hawaii had to do with the sun. Hiya. So I'm like, I literally remember writing down once, things to do in Oahu that don't involve the sun. Cinema. Gym. Oh, I'm running out. FaceTime mum and dad. I'm out. There's nothing else to do. So every day I would go to the beach at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And when my mum and dad came to visit, they bought me a giant pink donut inflatable ring. And my mum would like push me around in it with my cocktail. And so after they left, I would take that to the beach every day and just float around in it with a cocktail as the sun set and couldn't burn my lily white British skin. It was fun. All by myself.
I've heard that though. That it's sort of like, you know, island fever sets in and it's very real. It's just.
Yes, you are definitely not on the mainland. You just not.
And you're not close to the mainland. Like it's not like, you know, you're basically flying from one side of the country to the other. LA to New York every weekend if you want to go home. It's a long way.
But it feels further because it's an ocean. You know, and sometimes you'd look at the schedule, the day out of days, you know, and think, oh, I'm not in many days in this episode, and there's a weekend in the middle. But then sometimes they're like, oh, we just can't risk you leaving. You're like, what? I'm sorry, I'm trapped here, is what you're saying. And you're like, you know, and then like, but who wants to say call a friend, you know? That, you know, because, you know, either an actor, it's like feast or famine. So none of my famine friends wanted to hear me complain that I was trapped in paradise on a hit TV show.
I know. Every time we talked to Grace, and Grace Park was on Hawaii Five-0, and every time we would talk to her, you know, or someone would talk to her, we would say, how's Gracie? Have you talked to her? And they're like, well, she's in Hawaii. You know, don't know if it's great. Like, what? You don't know if it's great. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
But then say it to me now. Like if my phone rang after this podcast and, hey, you've been offered a series regular role on blah, 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 and it's in Hawaii, I'd be like, what a lovely chapter that would be.
With your kids.
For my husband and kids, because my husband's a massive fisherman, so is my son. They're water babies. We live by the water. We're at the pool all the time. They would be in heaven, you know?
Yeah.